In this video, we're going to talk about the 140k HQ choice that every time I hear his name, I think of Frank Sinatra's I Did It My Way, because that's the way this character did it. It's the Tyrant of Badab, Huron Blackheart. I'm going to give you 5 tips and tricks on how to use them in your Chaos Space Marine army or as a detachment in another army, say Death Guard, and we'll be right back. Hello again, Tabletop Warriors, and welcome back to the Plague Den. This is my continuing series where we explore the 40k universe one model at a time. My name's Tony, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Today's model is going to be Huron Blackheart. I'm going to give you 5 tips and tricks on how to effectively make this guy good in your army. Remember, we're talking renegade tactics. We're talking red Corsairs. We're talking all kinds of stuff, and we're going to go right at it. So number 1 is going to be the points. Huron Blackheart is 125 points. There's a lot of discussion. Is this guy good enough to be an HQ in your 8th edition Chaos Space Marine army or an HQ of a detachment that you're going to put into another army? So at 125 points, let's compare him to a Chaos Lord. If you take the Chaos Lord and you give him just some of the same weapons, say you give the Chaos Lord a Combi Flamer and a Power Fist, which kind of mimics Huron Blackheart's weapons, he comes in about 98 points. So is 27 points less than Huron Blackheart, but remember there's a lot more that goes on with Huron Blackheart than you get with the Sorcerer. So points wise, I think he's pretty efficient for what you're getting. You're getting a hybrid Sorcerer Chaos Lord who gives the rerolls on the attacks, but can also kind of cast spells and do some other things. So points wise, I think he's pretty good. Don't look at it as he compares to a Demon Prince, because obviously a Demon Prince kind of does the same thing. He's not a Demon Prince. He's a better Chaos Lord, or he's a better Chaos Sorcerer, whichever one you're looking at, for 125 points. So let's talk about his weapons. He has the Flamer 9-inch D6 assault weapon. He has the Tyrant's Claw that's inside the Tyrant's Claw. The Tyrant's Claw is a Power Fist, and he has a Power Axe. So those 3 weapons together give you some versatility, and the Flamer really works well in his, because he is Renegade Chapters, he is Red Corsairs. It really works well in his, you know, advance and still charge in the same turn. It is an assault weapon, so you don't take, even if you take the penalty, it doesn't matter because Flamers always hit. So that works well with him. And then you have some flexibility whether you want to use the Power Fist to do D3 damage every hit, or whether you want to use the axe to kind of take down other targets. So keep that in consideration, picking your weapon back and forth between your target priority and what you're putting him up against, and that the Flamer really works with his chapter tactics. Number 3 is going to be that Lord of the Red Corsairs. Obviously the Corsairs, Red Corsairs, is a Renegade chapter. It falls under the Renegade chapter tactics, as we talked about before. He does give the reroll of 1s for on the attack if he's within 6 inches of Red Corsairs, and don't get wrapped around the axle with the Red Corsairs. So just because it says Red Corsairs doesn't mean that you can't have dudes painted purple and call them the Red Corsairs and put him in there. As long as you're calling them the Red Corsairs, they're Red Corsairs, and it doesn't really matter, because you can take Khorne, Berserkers, you can take Plague Marines, you can take Noise Marines, or any of those elites, and just add that Red Corsairs kind of legion to it, and bam, they're Red Corsairs. So don't get too wrapped around the axle to make sure you have to paint them red or gold or whatever. Just paint them whatever you want and call them Red Corsairs, because it doesn't really matter. They're your models. You get to do with them whatever you want. But it's pretty cool that he gives them the reroll as long as he's within 6 inches of them. Number 4 is going to be the Hamadryad. It's the quadruped creature that he kind of carries around his neck. It does 2 things. 1, it allows him to cast another psychic power, which is awesome because he only gets 1, and then he can cast another one if he still has that thing. I'm not going to try to pronounce it too many times because I'm going to screw it up. But the second thing that nobody really thinks of is this is a model in itself. The 2 come as 1. So there's one drawback to that. He takes up 2 spots in a Rhino. Everything else is a plus. He can take a las cannon to the face. The guy can roll a 6 wounds. I'm going to put it on the Hamadryad. Hamadryad's dead. The Tyrant still has all his wounds. So consider that. I want you guys to think about that when you are fielding him. in essence, he can come up with another 6 wounds to spare where most other characters are going to go down. Take the invul save, fail the save. Oh, Lascan does D6 wounds. That's curtains. But the Hamadryad can take that to the face. He also has a 3-up save, so he can maybe risk the chance, roll the dice a little bit on some bolter fire, that he could save a couple of those saves too. So it gives him a lot of flexibility when it comes to his wound, and it allows him to cast another spell, and you can kind of use that for a couple of turns, and then if he takes a big shot, just get rid of the guy. 5. Number 5. If your army is Battle Forged, and if you have the Tyrant of Badab, Huron Blackheart in it, you get an extra command point. And that's awesome, because now that the big FAQs come out and you get more command points for battalions, this is just adding to it. A lot of people can figure out a lot of things to do with 1 extra command point. This guy's pretty sweet in those terms. Now here's the drawback to this whole thing. You cannot use Veterans of the Long War on the Renegade Chapter Legion. So a lot of people think that he's not worth it because you can't use Veterans of the Long War on infantry that run that Renegade Chapter Legion. But you can still use the Khorne Berserker bus. You can still put Plague Marines or Noise Marines, or you can make some other detachment with him as the HQ and still get those bonuses. I would recommend using units that can capitalize on the move, advance, and still be able to charge in the same turn rule. Bikers, Khorne Berserkers, those kind of things, and take full advantage of that. But Veterans of the Long War is kind of a no-go, but he does give you the extra command point. And all this for the cheap price of 125 points. So in all this, to kind of sum up, I really like Huron Blackheart. I'm a big fan of his lore. I'm a big fan of him as a character and the way that he's kind of run his life after the Astral Claws. Like I said, the whole Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way. He's gotten more money than he knows what to do with. He's got more money than the rest of the Chaos Lords and Sorcerers and all those guys, because this guy's doing it right? He's just pirating along and taking people's stuff and harassing the Imperium whenever he can, and that's the part that I love. So there you go, 5 tips and tricks on how to use this guy. Make sure that if you're going to use him, that you're putting him with units that give you that full use of the Renegade Chapter tactics. He gives you the +1 command point. I think he's really good, especially if you can use him in just a detachment of, to give your army some speed, or give your Chaos Space Marines or your Death Guard or whatever, whatever it is, a little bit of speed. So tell me what you think. Are you using Huron Blackheart? The artwork and the lore on him is ridiculous. So tell me if you're using him in your army, how you're using him. Are you getting success with him in 8th edition? If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe for more videos from the Plague Den. Until next time, this is Tony saying to win all your battles in life and on the tabletop, and we'll see you guys next time.